Hi, everybody. Karen Roby here for Tech Republic. Glad to be joined today by Nadine, also of Tech Republic. This is one of the first times we've gotten to chat, Nadine, and this is a really interesting time, of course, right now as we're living through this really scary situation and all adjusting to a new way of living right now. One of the things that we've been talking about, and I think this is really interesting, is as we're all looking to get more information, right? We're always searching for articles that have to do with COVID-19 and where is it hitting and what do I need to know. One of the things that's emerged that people are really latching onto is maps. And you know a lot about this, which I think is going to be really interesting to pick your brain about. Just start off with, the type of information you're seeing people are looking towards and why.
I think there's so much information, and people are very hungry for information right now about the coronavirus that they're looking at everywhere. And because there's so much unreliable information, you don't know whether you're getting it from, the White House press conferences, from YouTube videos. You're not sure where you're going to get the right information. And so I think people want those facts and figures. And what you look to are, data and maps. And there have been a lot of data and maps available right now. And in fact, many of them are interactive, which is great because some of them are updated every 7 minutes, every 10 minutes. So you get all the information that you want. And it's really surprising what kind of topics related to the coronavirus that these maps encompass. There are business ones. For example, I wrote one yesterday that was about the e-commerce situation. Obviously, we're sheltering at home. More people are using online services. So that's gone up in a huge way. The revenue and the orders, it definitely gone up, more than 50% for that. And then for other things, also there are also maps that are about whether people are working in the office and not in the office. And so they address that. But I think a lot of people are most concerned with the health issues. So what you can do on these maps, as I said, they're maps by many different people, everything from Johns Hopkins, Emersys, Good Data, Domo, Giovanni Committee, a lot of them. And so one of the things that's very popular is to find out what's available in your city, county, and state should you or one of your loved ones come down with symptoms and need to address that. So there are maps that tell you where testing facilities are, and there are also maps that are predictive, and they can tell you, because it's moving, east to west, what hospitals have openings, which hospitals have how many beds, how many ventilators, how many beds in ICU. And there's even some that say, that relate specifically to insurance, which ones take insurance, which ones will take you without insurance. So you're getting a lot of information, where the vulnerability is predicted and the actual facts. And it's all based on information that has started, I guess the first map started to appear on Tech Republic in the the first week of March, the first few days of March. And at that point, we were addressing it as, it's coming from Europe and it's coming to the United States. So now we need to start watching the figures. And of course, there are those who want to know everything. How many people have caught it? Who's died? Who's recovered? All of that stuff is also included in these maps, and there are several of them on Tech Republic.
And are you surprised at all, or did you see how this would become a thing? Given how we're a little bit more interactive now as where technology advances and with social media and so much information coming to us at one time, does it surprise you at all, or can you really see how and why people would latch on to this to maps in this way?
I think that we're all looking for comfort, and sort of mental comfort is knowing the real information. Yes, you can go to certain places and they'll tell you, no, don't put a blow dryer in your mouth, no, don't do this with bleach, what things you can do physically. But sort of mentally, I think a lot of people are trying to discern, because you're hearing, we're all on social media, we're all seeing all these facts and figures from our relatives. Don't take ibuprofen. Yes, take, all of this stuff that people are looking for, and I know we are in particular looking for what are the actual facts? What is actually happening? And that's why they find comforting in that. Today, one of our writers, Macy, wrote a story on which states are being successful at flattening the curve, which is, of course, what our whole goal is for staying at home.
Yeah, it is interesting to see. I mean, I know for myself, just when I'm going through different articles on from whatever source, that when, especially when they're comparing things, and you can really look at it and see, well, this state did this and this state didn't, and they, sheltered earlier than this one, and it makes it a little bit easier to understand, I think, too. Do you feel like setting it up that way helps? Whether it's somebody that's just the an average reader, or somebody that's really tech savvy and understands things like this, don't you think it seems that that's a map, and putting it out there in that way, it's an easy way for people to digest it and understand it?
It absolutely is. And it also, because a lot of adults are sheltering from home away from their families, and older adults may not be as savvy. And I'm talking, perhaps the elderly, the people that are the most vulnerable, the people who are not even allowed to do anything but take their groceries off the porch of their assisted living community. So they're very isolated. And so, but they're also not as tech savvy, perhaps. Maybe some are, but a lot of them are not. And so as us, as the children of older parents, we want to be able to send them links that they don't have to try to figure out, like, what does this mean and how to do it. And a lot of these maps have things that say drop down menus, very simple drop down menus of state, county, city, and what's going on with each different thing. So they're making it easy, and it is definitely an easy way to just check up. You don't want to be obsessive about it, but because they're updated, that you're getting information. And this is information that is culled from the WHO, from the CDC. They are getting their information from people who are on the front lines.
Yeah, that was the one thing too here before we wrap, Nadine. I wanted to ask you that, in as a writer for Tech Republic, you do gather information from so many different sources, and from depending on the story, not even just during this time period with COVID-19, but it is your job, my job, to gather sources from so many different places and information from different places. So right now, a lot of your information is coming from the CDC, the World Health Organization. What other places are you turning to get this needed data?
Well, a lot of our top research universities are also providing and pairing up with people. I did a story about IBM and MIT, big organizations and companies. Verizon is offering, free Wi-Fi to certain people in certain areas as much as they can, where Verizon's available. But the University of Virginia, Johns Hopkins, a lot of those universities that are, even those that are affiliated with hospitals, are certainly also providing information. So I think you can count on it, and especially the stuff that we're presenting on Tech Republic, you're going to be able to rely on that information, because not only is it coming from a national, and in some places an international level. I did a story that in which I spoke to somebody from their London offices. So you're talking, that is definitely included in the whole worldwide. So you're getting that, you're getting something very specific. And so easy to access, updated, facts from good places, and great to share with older and younger people who are not as used to working on laptops or using computers or tech stuff beyond writing emails.
Yeah, that's a great point, because the information we all needed, whether you're trying to explain something to a child, or again, if you're if you have elderly parents, and anyone in between. So it's a great way to do that. Well, Nadine, it was great to talk with you. I hope everything's there. I know you're in California, and just doing your best to stay quarantined there, and continue to get information out to all of our readers and viewers too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, most certainly. All right, well, everybody, of course, so much more information can be found. A lot of the maps that Nadine's been talking about here, and so much more information can all be found right there on Tech Republic. We hope you'll check it out. Thanks so much for watching.